Hello, Remote Work Europe. This is live January, and I'm coming at you through the Remote Work Europe page today, rather than just in the Spain group to keep things mixed up a little bit. But I'm continuing the theme to focus on some of the stuff in my inbox about freelancing, because we've been sending out lots of emails lately and newsletters about the benefits of creating your own job rather than applying for somebody else's. And again, I wanted to deal with some of the stuff that's come up in a private message publicly, because I think quite often when one or two people are asking, other people have the question in their mind as well. So this is sort of a couple of emails blended together, but the upshot was, I'm interested in freelancing. I don't rule it out, but I'm worried about the number of things you have to be good at in order to do it, because we do talk a lot in freelancing about the need to, you've got to do your own admin, you've got to do your own PR, you've got to do your own promotions, you've got to manage your business, as opposed to just doing a job where you might have quite a short and distinct list of skills that you need to bring to the table. So I wanted to talk about that because, yes, it's true. You do have to do all of those things. You do have to be responsible for all of those things, because you haven't got a manager. You haven't got a tech department down the hall who is going to come and switch your printer on and off again. You haven't got an accounts department or accounts payable department. You've got to chase your own payments and all of that. Yes, that's true as a freelancer. But the myth I wanted to tackle, or the concern that I think is building up in some people's minds, is you don't have to be brilliant at all that stuff. In fact, whilst freelancers have the freedom to develop skills in different directions and do have to maintain over responsibility for all aspects of their freelancing business, nobody is brilliant at everything. And in fact, you can't be. You might have to deal with all this stuff, but you don't have to have innate professional expertise at all of it. If I was an expert at accounts admin, I'd be hiring out as an accountant. But that's not what I do. I do communication strategies for remote work and remote team troubleshooting, because that's what I'm an expert at. And I have to make sure my accounts are done properly. So I leave the tricky bits to the professionals in Spain and Estonia. And the rest of it is basically general life skills stuff of what's coming in and what's going out and so on, chasing payments. I'm not an expert at accounting. I'm not an expert at tech. I can figure out the things I need to do mostly to make stuff work and come together. I can post new stuff to the website, but I contracted out to an expert to actually put the website together in the first place, because I know my limits there. And whilst I want to be that all-round person and own the content of my website, I know that I can't be an expert in everything. So in that way, being freelance actually makes you self-aware as well, because it's not just about skills, it's about personal qualities. I'm a big picture, I'm a systems thinker in that I'm good at thinking about the details of the workflow, but then actually executing on it, that's not me. So I work with a very skilled VA, Diana, who sends out the newsletter for me every week. We plan it together, but she does the actual nitty-gritty of compiling it, researching all of the remote job opportunities that go in there every week for you. You see, that I could do it, but it wouldn't be great use of my time, and it wouldn't be great use of the way my brain works, because it's not that kind of detail oriented. So I've had to become aware of that in order to be a successful freelancer. And then that makes it easy for me to collaborate with people who know what they're doing. So yes, to be a freelancer, you have to be responsible for all these details in your business, but you don't have to be an expert at all of them. In fact, it's very important that you know what you're best at in order that you can actually package that and do it for other people. And that is the basis of your freelance business. And if you don't actually figure that out, nobody's going to hire you to be a generalist to do general business stuff for them. It really doesn't work like that in remote. It might work, if you were in an office and you wanted say an admin assistant to man the front desk and answer the phones and do a bit of this and a bit of that, then you might get a generalist job. It doesn't really work like that in remote. You have to be very clear about your professional expertise and niche, and then you need to package that up and bring it to market. And that's why we funnel a lot of people over to Hannah Dixon and her Virtual Excellence Academy, because she's really good at that bit of not just the figuring it out, but then figuring it out how to market that and how to present it to a client, how to figure out who's going to pay you to do the thing, which is the crucial bit that a lot of people struggle with, quite understandably. And if you missed this week's challenge, she is doing a masterclass on tomorrow, Friday. So I'll drop a link into that, which you can sign up for anyway. Even if you miss the rest of the challenge, you can actually gain a tremendous amount just from working through the masterclass with Hannah tomorrow. And if you sign up for it, I think you can watch the recording at the weekend or whatever, and then decide if you have a skill set that you could offer online in this way. So that's what it takes to be a successful freelancer. You have to have deep expertise. You have to figure out who you're going to do it for. And then you also have to know a bit about the other stuff just to make sure it's done correctly. So in some aspects of recruitment and in Agile, we talk about T-shaped people. So if you think about the T, you've got a broad range of skills that you have to be, as a freelancer, you have to be responsible for your own HR, your own breaks, your own mental health, your own exercise, your own nutrition, your own PR, your own accounts, your own marketing, your own pipeline, and so on. But then you have the down bit of the T is the deep expertise, which there's probably only one person in the world can do things the way that you do them for the clients that you do them for in the way that you do. And that's the bit where you have to be broad at the top, but you have to be deeply specialized in one thing that makes you unique and stand out. And that is the problem when I see people posting, even in our monthly thread, about I want a remote job, I'll do anything. Well, that's no use to any potential hirer. They need to know exactly what's in the depth of the T. And if you're going to be working as a freelancer, it's also quite reassuring to let people know that you're experienced in managing your business. And even if there's just one thing, and it might ideally just be one thing that you're really, really good at, that's the thing to put your professional development budget and resources into, to keeping your skills up to date. I would say that plus the general freelancing skill of customer service and generally being awesome to work with, because there might be more than one person who's got that niche specialism. So to stand out, you also need to be a fantastic collaborator and a great team person. So I definitely recommend that. But don't worry too much about the other branches of the T. They are generally, it's a case of adapting life skills that you already have as a well-rounded human being. I'm sure you can balance your own bank account, and that you can't spend money you haven't got, and there's money coming in at this point from somewhere else. That's the essentials of your bookkeeping. As a freelancer, you need to know when stuff's got to be paid and pay it on time. You need to know who owes you money and chase it down and get it. And you need to make sure that the one does not exceed the other so you don't run out of money. In terms of communication, you need to know how to talk about what you do. You need to know your elevator pitch, how to describe your work, how to package that up for a client. That's all doable. The admin, it's all doable. There are systems and tools you can buy and you can learn if that's not your specialism. There are resources to make sure that you manage yourself as a remote worker, that you are being responsible for your own well-being, for your mental health, your physical health. There isn't an HR department who's checking in on you and giving you annual leave and things like that. So you have to manage all of that. But again, you don't have to be an expert on that. There are services, there are resources you can tap into. Focus on your unique offering professionally. Focus on changing the lives of your client and making them better, and then you won't go far wrong. And that's what I suggest you do, because specialization and just doing like one thing on a job description, having really narrow boundaries, that works if you're like an expert in one particular sort of brain surgery or, some really unique scientific field where you have pushed the boundaries of human ability through your unique academic research. Then you might be able to have this team of assistants who run around and do all the other things for you, like booking your meetings or your travel or whatever. Yes, if you're a freelancer, you have to get across that stuff yourself. But it is basic life skills. We're not insects. We're meant to be well-rounded human beings and not over-specialized. So do bear that in mind. Don't be scared of freelancing just because you think you have to be good at all this stuff. You don't. You just have to be on top of it. You have to be good at the one thing that your clients are paying you to do. That's the most important thing to focus on. And if you're not sure what that is or how to deliver it, then we have the masterclass coming up tomorrow. I will drop a link into the comments wherever you are seeing this video. And I wish you success with thinking about how you, as a broadly rounded and competent human being, can best offer value in exchange for reward in the world and therefore unlock your remote work lifestyle that you crave.